The Swarm Expedition has most of the player base stuck on the milestone Countermeasures, completing repeatable missions for No Man's Sky's big galactic war event. But how many of those missions you are completing actually count toward the total? If you are assuming all that you could possibly do, you'd be wrong, as there is always a limit to the amount, as otherwise people could just code a few bots and fake hand-ins, resulting in a fake but landslide win for a particular team, or in normal cases just auto-complete the whole event, ruining it for the players and HG. So you always have to have these limits. They are required. It's just basic data validation. However, the important thing is what you set these limits to. They need to be big enough for 99% of the player base to work with without losing effort and wasting time, but tight and regulated enough to not be abused. Yesterday I asked Cyberpunk 2350 on X if he had looked into the limits, as in the past Cyberpunk had used some custom scripts to work these things out. He also provides us with the exact start and end times to expeditions and such. Rather helpful stuff. Today Cyberpunk got back to me and announced his findings on X. The primary information he found was that the restriction is 3. The label for the variable is max user daily contribution. From this it is obvious that it's account-wide, as user, not save or something. Also, faking multiple different saves for a bot would be easy, whereas the account requires a copy of the game, etc. So it's 3 per account. The label also says daily, which I think is probably correct, but it is the normal label for the variable regardless of expedition, so it could very possibly mean per 8-hour period, as that is what HG have set the reset times to. Now, it's also possible that it is daily, but it's 3 hand-ins per mission type, so 3 for purge, 3 for sabotage, etc. If it is 3 total mission hand-ins per account per day, it would also make sense, as there are 3 mission types, and generally you would expect to have to choose which of these to complete, meaning that with 3 total hand-ins per day, you could choose to do all 3 purge or all 3 sabotage, etc. The part where this possibly doesn't make sense is that they didn't tell us, and so we haven't got the required information to make that choice. Now, many of you who have seen even just the title of my latest stream or the actions of my previous 2 may know that I've completed the expedition on 5 separate saves on the same account in order to complete missions lots of times and do my part for the Sage War effort. I personally think this is a great option, as you have to put the effort of completing the expedition for each save, so you have sort of earned it. This new information from Cyberpunk kind of crushes that strategy, but not completely. Assuming the worst case scenario, that we are 100% confident that at the very least you can complete 3 missions per account per day and have them count towards a greater score. This means that having up to 3 different saves all able to do those missions is useful, as I can just log in once per day, and on each of those 3 saves I can complete the Purge mission. This mission rewards your team with 3 points. This is a most beneficial competitive mission to everyone, as it adds the total score for completing the Prismatic Core, while also helping your team out. If you only have 1 save able to do the missions, you could still do this, but instead do the Purge mission 3 times per day after the resets, which are at midnight, 8 AM and 4 PM UTC. Now that's just the minimum we know for 100% that we can contribute. However, it's also possible that the 3 limit applies to every 8 hours, meaning you could do the Purge mission on 3 saves every 8 hours, or just do all 3 every 8 hours in the same save. Alternatively, the limit of 3 could be daily but apply to each mission individually, in which case you could do all 3 missions 3 times per day, whether that's over multiple saves or just all missions on cooldown. I don't think any other interpretations are particularly logical, so I doubt very much so that you could do all 3 missions every 8 hours on multiple saves on the same account and have it count. I will be trying to do the Purge mission once per day on 3 saves, getting Sage 9 points, then carrying on with my work. The plus side is that these missions do reward some decent items in-game anyway, so it's not like they're pointless. One more thing is that through this, Cyberpunk was able to confirm that the teams are chosen and enforced by the HG servers. We assumed this already based on other testing, but this pretty much confirms it. Also, it is reasonable to assume that this enforcement is not just account-wide, but also all accounts connected via cloud syncing. So only through not having them linked between the different platforms can you have multiple team types. Remember, that's still on different accounts. Right, that was a bit of an odd one, tricky to approach, as while some people take this badly, I don't think it's remotely helpful to let things ruin your fun in the name of some semblance of perceived righteous outrage. I can all but promise you that HG aren't maliciously fooling you. There are many reasons for these restrictions, some of which I've already mentioned. Another could simply be that the value was overlooked. Another is that we, as the players and analysers of the game, have misinterpreted these numbers and values. But it was also something I felt I had to mention, especially as I've been publicly employing the tactic of multiple saves to grind score. Right, as always, let's keep things civil, not jump to conclusions, and have fun. Peace.